Hey everyone, welcome to the KE Report, a company update from Volt Lithium, chatting with Alex Wylie, President and CEO of Volt Lithium. Company is traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol VLT, on the OTCQB under the symbol VLTLF, and the Frankfurt Exchange I2D. Now, Alex, as you and I have continued to chat on this show, this company is all about getting your DLE technology, your direct lithium extraction technology, in the field at oil field producers, using the oil field brines to extract lithium. Now, you have partnerships, it looks like, in North Dakota and in Texas. Some recent news out of the company focused in North Dakota, a field work update, field testing, and a government grant from the North Dakota government. We've talked a whole lot about Texas. This North Dakota news, government funding around $2 million, as well as a field development agreement. Where is the focus here, Alex? Is it in North Dakota or is it in Texas?
Thank you, Corey, and that's a great question. As I've stated for quite a while now, our focus is locking up oil fields across North America. The largest producer of water from an oil field in North America is the Permian. There is 19 million barrels a day of water being disposed every single day from the Permian. In the US, the number two basin is the Bakken. There's 2 million barrels a day from the Bakken. Our focus is to lock up the oil fields. Now, when it comes to operating and our focus from an operational perspective, we're doing a field trial in North Dakota to demonstrate that we can extract lithium, but our core focus is Texas. We want those 19 million barrels a day of water. There's lithium in that water. It's a huge prize for the domestic supply of lithium in the US. So we're clearly focused on Texas. Our operations are in Texas, and we're scaling up in Texas.
Give us more color on what scaling up means then. We keep chatting about how you are working with more oil field brine, more water, looking to produce more lithium, and potentially using this modular approach where you can continue to add on to the current fieldwork tests. Where do you stand in terms of scaling up, and what's the vision for scaling up in the near term?
Absolutely. So I'll take us back to summer of 2024, and we put a system in place in the field that was capable of doing 1,000 barrels a day of water. By the end of Q4 of last year, of 2024, we were capable of about 2,500 barrels a day of processing capacity. By Q1, we announced that our system's capable of doing 11,500 barrels a day. So we have significantly scaled up in a very short period of time while out in Texas. Now, where we're going is we've got our system where we can operate. We're getting great results from our system. The next phase, which we're operating on right now, is making sure we've got the testing parameters, the operations, the automation, everything in check so that as we scale up to our next level, we've got a system that works continuously in the field. I can say that scaling to 10,000 barrels a day is going to be significantly more of a challenge than going to 100,000. The reason being, back to what you said, it's a modular system. This modular system is so critical to our expansion plans. When you're in Texas, disposal happens anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000 to 150,000 barrels per facility. We don't need to build a million barrel a day facility on its own. We need to build multiple facilities that are modular, and that's what we're in the process of doing right now.
Alex, talk to us about the big picture path to market then. Everyone talks about lithium and the EV market in the US, and so much focus now is simply on domestic production, not just of lithium, but all kinds of different commodities and resources. What does this look like as you continue to scale up? How do you get this to market?
So I think we have to differentiate between the EV market and the industrial market. When you look at the EV market, groups are correct in saying most of the production's happening in China. You're right, that's correct. EVs are exploding from a demand perspective in China. They're not exploding here in North America. Now, what's happening, what we're seeing is that the lithium required to meet the demand in China all the lithium is getting sucked to China. There's a hole being left. There's a void in America for industrial customers that have been using lithium for 30 plus years. They need lithium too. They need domestic supply. There is no one today that can provide that gap that in America, and that's what our objective is, to fill that gap in short order. Other groups are saying 28, 29. We're going to be way in advance of that when we're supplying that market.
Okay, so you need to scale up. Do you still need more partnership agreements to get on oil field sites that are in production to use their brine to test out the product, or essentially scale up so that you can feed the market?
Our focus right now with our partner is making sure that we can get a system that works and we can replicate it. And that is the challenge in the industry, and that's the challenge that we're overcoming. Do we need to find all kinds of new partners? We don't. We can scale up with the groups, with our partner right now. Our focus is on execution, execution on operations, execution on delivery of lithium. We produce lithium every day. We produced it this morning. We need to show that we can execute it, have continuous and reliable production for our future customers, because American customers need lithium today.
So what production capacity are we at here? What is the roadmap for scaling up? Look, it sounds like you have the market there, so let's get it bigger. So where do you stand now? Where do you go from here?
And so what we've stated publicly is that we've been able to demonstrate that we can do 11,500 barrels in a day. And what we're doing is setting the operating parameters, so providing the consistency so that we can provide a system that can scale in the future. We haven't given an outline of what our plan is for scaling. We are literally right in the middle of it right now as we speak.
When do you get to revenue then? If you are still at a production capacity now, yes, it's small, and yes, you still need to feed a much larger market, but when do you start to see revenue coming into Volt?
So what we're seeing from a market perspective is groups, customers need allocations for lithium for 2026. So what we're doing is we're providing technical specs to customers, showing the reliability of the product that we've got, and really we're focused on making sure that we can meet the demand for customer needs for 2026. It's not realistic to just say to start selling lithium right now. There's investment that's required. There's customers that need allocation. So it's a complex process, but it starts with operations. It starts with execution. It starts with showing that we've got consistent product for future customers so that we can meet their needs as they require their lithium as we move into the allocations for 26.
Now, when you produce this end product, because you are working with some of your field partners, who splits the revenue here? Who benefits the most from these sales? How does the partner that you're using their brines, what do they get out of this?
So, I mean, those are the discussions that we're having right now. We're having confidential discussions. I think the Volt shareholders will be very happy with the outcome of what we're doing. Right now, the focus is on execution from an operational perspective. That's what we're doing with our partner. We want to get this right. We want to make sure that we can consistently drive product. It's no use announcing a partner without the execution behind it. So that's what we're diligently working on, Volt and our partner right now, so that we can execute as we move into the latter part of this year.
What can we look out for news flow wise then? How can we as shareholders see and understand that this execution aspect that seems so important right now to get to much larger production, that the execution is working better?
Well, I think we have to go back to the history of the company. And we've been consistent all along in our expectation for execution. In 2023, we were producing lithium from a beaker. By the summer of 2024, we were capable of 1,000 barrels a day. By Q1 of 2025, we've demonstrated we can do 11,500. That's a significant amount of brine being processed every day. The history of the company is constant execution, and we're not going to change. So it's a matter of looking at the track record of what we've done and when we say something about what we're going to do, we consistently meet it. So we're right now focus on operational execution.
I guess one other thing I should ask is what about capital? Do you need capital to scale up? How are you for capital right now? If you're not generating revenue here and now, then how much money do you need to get to a certain point where you can start feeding the market?
Well, we raised money in November of 2024. We raised $6.5 million, and we received a grant of $2 million earlier this month, well, last month. We're fine for money right now. Our focus is on execution. We do not need money to execute to show that we can operationally execute our business. So right now, we're fine for money. Again, the focus is on execution.
All right, Alex. I think you've driven that one home. Execution, execution. That is your focus. I know a lot of the market is focused on feeding that market, generating some revenue, showing commercial viability of all this. What news can we watch out for as the company moves forward?
I mean, the big thing that we're going to be demonstrating as we move into the back part of this year is we're going to start showing that we can generate customers, start showing supply, continue to show consistency and expansion of what we're doing. I mean, we will provide an operational plan to the market as we continue to drive our execution. And, we're very comfortable with where we stand right now. And so I'm very satisfied with the performance of the company so far as we continue to operate in the field and drive our product.
All right, Alex, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you for addressing these questions. Hopefully, that does answer a lot of those questions that I've received and provides a bit more clarity on this path to market. It sounds like it's near, like it's close, but again, I think the market is just waiting to see some of those more commercialization type of updates. So keep me up to date as Volt Lithium progresses, both in North Dakota and Texas, but it really sounds like that focus, at least right now, being in Texas. Again, I'm chatting with Alex Wylie, President and CEO of Volt Lithium. Alex, thank you for the update today.
Have a great day. Thank you, Corey.